Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video, and please like, subscribe, and share the video. And if you want to, in the description below, there is a donation link for me to get better stuff in the future so I can provide better content for you guys. That's enough of me wasting your time. Thanks for watching the video. So, I think I definitely went over the Guilty Gear characters for the most part. So I'll go through them real quick and then go on to the passions. So we have May, who is a really nice Guilty Gear character. She's my main in Guilty Gear Strive. She's the SSR supporter soldier and attacks all and moves on the ground. So she can attack air units and ground units. So her basic attack will basically link her attacks to enemies in near distance and sends the projectiles to enemies in a far distance, which is really nice, and attacks AoE basically. So her basic attack is using her anchor, and her Arasugawa Sparkle is her seal hitting a beach ball basically towards the enemy, which is really nice. And then she has faultless defense, or this is basically called is it called faultless defense? I forgot honestly, but it's faultless something. It is probably faultless defense, but basically this is perfect guard. So when getting hit, stunned, damage resistance for 40%, 5 seconds for herself and allies around her, and stiff immune to herself and stun immune to allies. It does not reinitiate within 15 seconds, and when she keeps the posture, she is skill blocked. But that's fine. Decent amount of buffs and attack 100% maximum for 8 seconds relative to defense posture time, which is really nice. She also has Mr. Dolphin-san. So she dashes front with her charge skill, or she dashes upwards towards the next enemy, depending on if they are a ground or air unit, which is really nice detail. Which also, on the landing spot, gets stunned for 3 seconds, and enemies who gets damaged will get a random buff removed, except for permanent ones. Also gets sealed for 6 seconds, and that's pretty great. And then you got Great Yamada-san sends a huge ass whale to give AoE damage to the enemy, and the special skill cooldown is reset right after the skill is used. She is a really nice tank support. I really recommend to get her. She is great, and these are collab units, so they are limited. You have Millia Rage. She has a really nice ranger soldier SSR, attacks all, move ground, cost 3. So her basic attack is a really nice ranged attack, and she hits everyone with her hairs real fast, real deadly. So she's really strong as a ranger. She has Psych Burst, which that's the thing they gave her. So all the Guilty Gear characters have at least one mechanic in the game given to them as a passive. So she has Psych Burst. When HP is under 70%, throws targets to the opposite side of her, gives stiff even if enemy character is under special skill status, so she can ignore that, and skill haste 30% per enemy who is attacked for 6 seconds. Maximum skill haste is 90%. Damage immune for 2 seconds after passive skill is finished. That's an interesting way of how they're doing Psych Burst, but that's cool. More attack speed, and passive will be activated one more time when HP is below 40%. Septum Voices throws multiple projectiles towards the target, AoE damage, and they will lose their barrier. All enemies attack will become blind as well. Winger, she dashes in, flies attack, AoE damage, does her ultimate in Guilty Gear, always crits, and then gives an extra valor hit as well. Then you got Soul Bad Guy. I believe he's a Battle Pass character. He's pretty decent, I would think. SSR counter defender. He is a 4 cost though, and attacks ground units, and is a ground unit himself. So he has basic attacks or gun flame for far projectiles, and that is a multi-hit AoE. He has roaming cancel for his passive, so basically you can cancel an action every 5 attacks. Concentrates provoke units around him for 6 seconds, and attack speed minus 30% for those people. You have attack count remains at redeploy as well, which is really nice. And then special cooldown minus 5 when passive is activated, and minus 30% attack is also added to the debuff. So he's an interesting tank. Fafnir is a really nice special attack that they gave to Soul. It's a really nice AoE damage attack, gives him 30% damage resistance as well, and he has stiff immune as well during the buff. And Heavy Mob Cemetery. His dragon install, they gave it to him in this game as well, transforms into his dragon install mode, jumps into the target, takes AoE damage, and his HP is recovered 33% during the 12 seconds after skill is activated, immune to all debuffs as well. Then you got Ram Lethal Valentine, really nice waifu here. So you got a 4-cost striker who attacks ground, moves ground, and is kind of like a range unit, but she's like an attack speed character. Her Heirlumo has AoE damage on her long sword swings. Her Gatling combination, so the combos in Guilty Gear Strive, has been given to her. So after Heirlumo is activated, next attack will be enhanced, attacking maximum 3 times relative to distance between ram lethal and target, closest to 70%, farthest 50% for damage and range. More attack speed, and immune to special skill stiffness for 5 seconds, and same effect for every 6 passive activated, which is really nice. Sabrobato is a really nice AoE attack. I believe this is the heavy slash that they gave it to her. It's one of her command inputs, and it's a really nice slam, which also does 20% of the current HP of the enemy target, which is really, really strong. You also have Calvados. Is her ultimate is a basically really big laser, 2 big lasers that deal a decent amount of AoE damage, and the maximum distance is 13 meters. And also gains 25% attack speed after 12 seconds of the skill activated. You also have Ino, who is the first mech plus counter unit, as they'll add more in the game later, but she is a ground unit and she attacks everything. She's a really nice unit. She has AoE auto attacks. This is one of her command inputs. She has the dust attack, so basically enemies within 2 meters will receive 75% more damage. So this is a melee mechanic for a sniper character. She's immune to special stiffness, gives enhanced attack which makes airborne state to enemies, and then also will give them slow as well, speed minus 66%. It also becomes fixed damage. As well as that, after the knockback, she will have it on cooldown for like 12 seconds. Her special is Ultimate Fortissimo, which is really interesting. She basically bounces towards the enemy, throws a projectile, does big AoE damage, and is immune to all damage while jumping. Then she comes back to her original spot, deals fixed damage as well, and which is really, really nice. And Megalovania is her second ultimate in Guilty Gear Strive, which she deals her execution ultimate. Throws multiple projectiles, deals AoE damage, and if they are under 50% HP, they will die instantly. And then you have Albion, the new ship that's gonna come out. So the passive for Albion, the deployed friendly unit generates shields at 12% of their max health. 16% for Pride-Win institution units, so Pendragon, Ryan, Roy Burnett, all the sorts. Launching a missile, giving the allies within the range a stealth effect for 8 seconds, and the evasion value is increased by 500. That is great. Basically, all your allies that couldn't have stealth effects before can now have stealth effects. And her ultimate skill inflicts damage to the enemy and floats while knocking them back. The HP recovery of the hit enemy within 15 seconds is reduced by 100%. That's insane. That's a really nice heal block. Then you also have Amy First Wing's rework. So let's get into this a little bit. So you have your basic yo-yo AoE attack as well. You got her passive. So before the rework, she would basically do AoE damage in the front when deployed. Pulls rangers, snipers, and supporters within range to work. Crits will not work, but all basic attacks are crits, but it does not work after 4 seconds of using the special skill. At level 5, buff remains for 4 seconds when using basic attacks. When 5 buffs are stacked, immune to all stuns which are made by passive and basic attacks. Now, after rework, she will also pull, but they will also become sealed. And instead, she will also get 25% attack speed after deployment and immune to stiff under special skill. Also, damaged enemies get downed, not stiff. Pulling enemies within range becomes 1750 to 500, so it's a lot less range. Marionette Breaker becomes Edge Breaker. So her special throws a yo-yo with AoE damage. 1 unit within area is pulled to her. Skill bind for 12 seconds and becomes Confusion. So this is like a mind control effect. Awake units gets half the effect of 6 seconds. After rework, they basically they changed it. Throw yo-yo with an AoE damage hit becomes 100% while using the skill. Targets continues to lose 1% of HP for 20 seconds, so that is 20% of their HP gone. Furthest unit is pulled to her, becomes skill bind for 12 seconds. If furthest target has HP under 30%, instantly die, which is really, really nice. Before the rework with her ulti, takes AoE damage for a string of yo-yo. Targets will lose 1.5% HP per second for 10 seconds. That is 15% HP, and at level 5, SP effects will be affected to unit within area. With her after rework, basically pulls units too as well for 20 seconds, so that becomes a really big percentage number. Holy shit. And farthest 2 units become skill bind as well, and if farthest 2 units have HP under 40%, die instantly. HP reduced per second becomes 2.5%? You're kidding me. So you're saying, if I'm not mathing wrong here, they can take about fucking... Are you serious? There's no way. That's 50% HP. That's huge. So attack range also has been reduced to 1200, pulling units to center plus 1000, airborne of last attack to 1000. So it's a pretty decent rework. I really like how they changed it, and they didn't make her absolutely useless, so she is still a really, really nice awakening character in my opinion. That'd be pretty interesting. And then you have the buff list. So I'll be explaining this in the next video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned.